Hello and welcome. I am welcome. I don't know. You're on TikTok, and I'm welcoming you to TikTok. Welcome. I have been pontificating over a few videos about friendship pods and talking about 40 Story and whatnot. And I realized that what you really need is some hands-on visuals so you can get a sense of where I'm going with this and recognize I'm not just pie in the sky. So I'm going to take you on a quick tour. This will probably span across a few videos here on TikTok, 3-minute increments. I'm not so good at shutting up, but it'll be worth it, I hope. All right, so I'm going to take you to Chef Heart, chefhe.art. The theme behind Chef Heart as a friendship pod is the heart of a chef. And I have a partner, Ralph. He's amazing. He's an older gentleman with a lot of wisdom, great mechanics. We built a production line of spices that we sold using a Shopify cart and a couple integrations last year, and we built a production over here in a commercial kitchen, and unfortunately we just were not able to sustain the production because we didn't have enough sales. The idea behind it was that you could make your own spice blend, and then we would not only grind it for you, and we called it Pepper Fusion, and Pepper Fusion provided the opportunity to do something special with spices. Take fresh, whole ground spices and grind them to order and put them in a jar with a custom label. You could upload your picture, you could upload your own label name, the whole thing. And it was a great concept, but even from the outset, it was pretty obvious that we were not going to be able to profit from it. Nevertheless, we went through with it because it taught us a lot of excellent lessons around the spice industry and some forward-thinking concepts that I have in sales and marketing of Web 3. So we folded that, and it was really a traditional Web 2 approach, which is proof. It's just proof to me. I'm trying to start a spice business, the oldest business in the world, and probably the most prolific, with one of the greatest leading edge ideas that I've ever had to apply to something so simple. Everybody that tried our product, everybody that had it and saw it, loved it. We had it in the local grocery store here. It did well in the small environments we put it in, but it was not sustainable. We were spending so much money every single month on SaaS fees, software as a service. You know, that $10, $15, $20 hut, it just kills you. And, you know, across 15, 20 different services that were necessary to keep things going, not to mention a Shopify store and some high-end plugins and some customization and databasing and all these things. So that whole approach, and I apologize to the 50,000 people who requested free samples of Pepper Fusion, and only I think 200 of them got them because we just ran out of manpower and ran out of resources and had to shut the whole company down, LLC and everything. But now we have relaunched as Chef Heart, and Chef Heart is positioned as a friendship pod. We could not have done this without having done that, so you know how the path goes. Chef Heart, it's not a bad name either. Chef Heart is built more along the lines of the concepts that I created around friendship pod. And friendship pods are token communities that are designed to impact the world for good. That's the way I like to frame it, because I think that what society needs are some vertical communities that are unified around each other, that are vetted in such a way that transparency, trust, and truth can flow through them. The result being love that is applied to some aspect of the world. And in some cases, it could even be to yourself, because if you can't love yourself, you can't love others. And so there is a little bit of all of that in Chef Heart in a beautiful way. Friendship pods are, again, token communities wrapped in a very specific approach and ideology. There will be lots of token communities that come on the scene. There already are. Most of them are tech-driven. I am I utilize tech, and I have the ability to expand and expound upon the tech that I am currently providing because I have connections and resources, programmers, etc., that can put it together, and I can communicate what's needed. I'm not a high-level programmer. I know enough to, be dangerous, hurt myself, and to get ideas built and out there. So what you're going to see here is just the tip of the iceberg, but it's very, it's together. It's unified. It's built to where you can kind of get a sense of it. And so Chef Heart is built around the theme of good food and primarily around spices. But then from that, suddenly we realize, no, we like to eat well. We like to, and I'm not talking about eat well like, I'm talking about eating well on multiple levels. One, we got to get away from the bad stuff that we put in our bodies because it comes off the, the shelf at the supermarket. Everybody knows that. Don't need to capitalize on that. And that means getting down to business and learning how to cook and learning how and having a system in the home that allows you to cook. And even just recently, I started making my own breads, pastas, tortillas, corn and flour, and things of this nature. Started creating my own oils with flavored oils, chili oils, garlic oil, etc., to be able to spice things up. Got a very minimalistic set of cookware. I had a lot of it, but started building it up. And suddenly I've revolutionized my own dietary approach to what I eat and how I eat. And it has great effect, and my family is hugely appreciative. But I think you can do the same thing. And I think as a community, we can all contribute to one another, because I didn't do this alone. I have some amazing people. This is, Friendship Pods and Chef Heart and Marble Media. This whole menagerie comes out of Okanagan, Washington, a very small town of less than 1,500 people, 50 miles south of the Canadian border in the very central part of northern Washington at the base of the Cascade Mountains. It took me 7 years to be able to say all that. Now I understand where I am. Okay, but here I am. It's a very small community, but it's the perfect place for someone like me to kind of test all these ideas and to implement them. And because we are here, we live in farmland, ranch land. When we got here, I moved here from Arizona, and we heard everybody talking about water. Water was the biggest subject on everybody's conversation. And, we were so used to city life that it took a few years, even that, to get used to. We went down to one of the rivers, one of the creeks, and just splashed this beautiful, refreshing, glacier water on our faces. And we're like, wow, this is awesome. And since then, we've embraced the culture around here and met a lot of people who have helped us along, understanding how to farm, how to cultivate, how to set up a system in the home and outside, on the back porch and in the backyard, etc., to be able to produce food that manifests itself in a good way in our body and in our lives. But it's not just, I can't grow everything here. I can't grow chickens. I'm not gonna, because I can't babysit them. Goats, beef, cattle. I don't have land for it, etc. So a network of everybody else around that is doing that was necessary, and we have built that. And what we're doing now is extending that through the Friendship Pod to our Chef Heart membership. And when we do that, we will be able to give you the say you live in Seattle or San Francisco, or you're back on the East Coast in New York, etc., and you would like to have fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and fresh meats grown and packaged and delivered to you, knowing that they are of the highest quality and understanding where they come from, because you know the people that are producing them. And if you get into that kind of an environment, and if the community is wrapped up in that, then suddenly we have integrity and truth and trust and transparency start serving us, and we start tasting the love. That's what makes good cooking is love. And so a lot of this is real high level ideology, ideals, but the way the world's moving, we're in a battle for these ideals. And so we've taken action to hopefully create something that will help us survive, and then extending it to you allows you to survive and all of us to have a better path forward, Because I look around and I think some people don't even have a path forward, and the path is going to close up on them. And we want to be able to provide a safety net. So Chef Heart is built around that idea that we can produce good food, good spices, good health, good habits, and, collaborate with one another, create a community that allows us to do that and support one another in that way. And then, generate ideas collectively that strengthen this. And then the beauty of Web3 is that when you wrap everything in a token, or around a token, the token has the ability to gain value. So it becomes an investment. And, all over the place, people are investing in NFTs or buying Bitcoin and all kinds of crypto assets with absolutely no value or utility driving them other than hype and circumstantial forecasts. And this is what could possibly happen. What do they call that? Futures, That's not what we're about. We're about creating real value and real utility so that the token has staying power. And not only that, but we can't pull the rug out from under you because we're here. I tell you where I am. I tell you who I am. And you can come get me. This is not a hype game. I don't go out on the internet. I advertise Chef Heart and invite people to come join us, but everyone gets vetted and everyone gets to know each other. It's a very carefully assessed approach to kind of building a co-op. As my partner puts it, and I'm not real good with history, but he talks about how people used to do this in society. I think he calls them the feudal societies. And they would basically get together and share their food and share their resources in order to survive. So we may be getting to a point, may not be at a point where we have to do it to survive, but it's definitely at a point where we can benefit from it and, in a way, survive the onslaught of food shortages, pandemics, natural disaster. We haven't seen a lot of the thing that I think I'm most fearing coming up is pestilence. But all these things are on the horizon. And how you believe and what you understand about the world might determine how much you resonate with that. But I'm not trying to be a fearmonger, just kind of pointing back to the last 10 years, if nothing, and having enough proofs that we are on this trend. So we're here to absolve some of that. As well, and this is more along the lines of 40's story, but we're here to fight against artificial intelligence taking over by leveraging ethereal intelligence. Does that work into this? Absolutely, but not yet. So for now, let's just take a walk through Chef Heart, and we'll take a walk on the wild side and see how Chef Heart is set up as a friendship pod around this theme with this intention of having this impact for good and structurally get a sense of how it works. So this is a typical landing page, if you will call it that. It's the front page of Chef Heart, and our URL is chefhe.art because there is art to using spices. Spices are like a palette, and I wish my partner were here talking to you about this because he's got a beautiful way of articulating it, and we'll get him involved before too long. But when you have a palette of spices and basic good food that is not full of nitrates and 16 syllable words, you have the ability to cook and create lots and lots and lots of variety in your diet. I am of the belief that, I use recipes to get started, but then I want to become the artist and I want to touch the food with my own special kind of suave. And when I do that and do it right, and it's a balance, it's about 80% understanding how to cook and maybe utilizing a recipe, and especially if I'm baking bread or something, and 20% flair, 20% me. But when I get that balance right, the food comes out tasting good. I am proficient at the process, and guess what? The love flows. And when the love flows, there you cannot describe. My daughter has frozen my soups in the past and said, these are gold. We have to eat them on proper occasions, and because she recognizes we can never reproduce them because I didn't follow some specific recipe, right? And I utilized what was at hand at the same time. So there is, and I know you cook the same way, and we're all so busy, we have to cook this way. And the way we've kind of approached a lot of what happens here at Chef Heart, is along that lines. Oh my goodness, I need to get on with this. How many 3-minute videos across TikTok is it going to take for this to come out? All right, so Chef Heart. It's the heart, it's the art, and it's a heart-healthy community of real and good food. And a lot of us, self-included, are on a path of discovery, and I'm pulling people around me that can help us do this. And the more, the bigger our community gets, the stronger that'll happen. This Web3 community is called a friendship pod. So most people don't understand what a friendship pod is. So anytime I build one, I kind of give a little bit of an explanation. Once you register and come in, I have links to some PDFs that I've written that will, and a whole training on what Web3 is. If you're new to Web3, this will give you an opportunity to kind of have an on-ramp to Web3 and understand it from a perspective of Web2 and from a perspective of a passion that might resonate with you, to where you're not inundated with all the tech terms. And, those are all going to fade into the background eventually, just like the internet did, and, modems and 5G and everything else did. Now we boil it all down to buzzwords. That's on its way, so you don't really need to indulge too much in it. Now, the way this works, I'm not going to sit here and read everything to you, is that I've set it up in a Web 2 format so that people can come in and register for free. And when they register for free, that's telling me that they have interest. And I'm not going to create a funnel that's, other than this page, that, and maybe other landing pages that kind of speak about it a different way. I'm not going to try to hype you up and make you excited to get involved in this, because the reality is, if we take it to the 4D level, I have a completely higher level approach to attracting exactly the people that I want. But that's going to take some time as we educate the public on how that works. So for now, if you register for free and you register with Chef Heart, you're letting us know that you're interested. The next step will simply be for you to fill out a profile, and that's what we explain as we move through here, how it works, etc. And we're just still trying to kind of create some education for people. But you'll be able to fill out a profile. You'll register for free. You'll complete a profile, and that will come to us, and we will review it. And we do not ask you too personal questions, but we do know why you want to be here and what you have to contribute, because ultimately, whoever joins the friendship pod of any friendship pod, they're joining to say, I not only want to partake, but I have something to contribute. Now, if you're an introvert and you don't want to get involved and blah, 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 first of all, your contribution doesn't have to be engaging. You don't have to be doing, on video or whatever. It could simply be suggestions and ideas and voting and things like that. Or you could just remain completely anonymous and enjoy the services. But I assure you, the energy of you being there and what you purchase, if you purchase ancillary items, or what you receive as part of the membership through our portals, etc., that is going to charge and create supernatural energy within the friendship pod. See, a friendship pod, what it does best and what makes it different, and the reason Web 2 was all about building community was because when you get a proper community and aligned with each other, you have power. I did not become a Navy SEAL because I was divinely sidetracked from that venture. Okay, we'll tell that story later. But I did go through basic underwater demolition for SEALs in Coronado, partially, and left during Hell Week. And I got a sense of how SEALs operate at a very high level. And then, of course, right after that, I'm pretty old, so that was almost 30 years ago. Right after that, the SEALs became very popular and blew up, and all of a sudden you can get a lot of books and insight on SEAL operations, Navy SEAL operations. And as I got more and more of those, I really realized what value that training had, and it showed me the power of unity, showed me the power of teams, it showed me the power of 3 or 4 people, and how once they're aligned, that 2 people, 1 + 1 is 3. You take a husband and a wife that are aligned and they raise children that are in the same alignment, and I'm telling you, they can move the world. And I'd like to say I have a similar family. I'm very proud of my family, and but I didn't do it. They did it. All I did was act as the leader who said, here's the opportunity. I'm going to lead by example. If you follow in my footsteps, you're going to, and then, just kind of help out with the kids. when my wife and I are in alignment together, those kids have nowhere to go except to conform to our system and then for themselves discover how they can leverage it. And we give them plenty of leeway. I am not somebody who sits there and runs them through, a cheese grater. And I hope that at the end of the day, they all love me. But if they don't, well, I had to do my job. But this unity, this community, this idea that 1 + 1 is 3 is incredibly powerful. And so when we start, a friendship pod creates a theme and it sets it forth and it says, this is what we're doing. That's a mission statement in Web 2.0 and the rest of the history of business. But this mission statement is designed in such a way that it can A, leverage the technology of Web 3 and B, move in a trajectory that does not that has trust and transparency and truth integrated into it in a way that is revolutionary, in a way that's never been allowed before, except maybe back in the feudal system. But that feudal system was isolated to just one geographic area. Now we can take that feudal system, if you will, and expand it to the whole world. And not to the whole world. I don't want to have the whole world in my friendship pod. It'll just be those that make sense. And at some point, we may even cap it off and say, okay, we're going to have to go build a new friendship pod along similar lines so that we can create another society of people doing a very similar thing. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I am the oracle, but come on. I'm not a foreteller. I'm a forth-teller. I'm telling you what has already been written and what is pretty easy to see once you can see it. But I am not able to tell you, actual events. And if I did, then I would expect you to click off and be gone. So you register for free. You complete your profile. We contact you. I for now, will call you. Down the line, it will be other people. And we will just have a conversation to find out what your intentions are and how you want to, what you want to bring to the friendship pod and what you want to get out of it. Because ultimately, we're going to be looking for your input to determine how the friendship pod continues to evolve. Then you engage us in a short interview. Oh, that is the short interview I just described. And then you are admitted as a member. There is a membership fee. And that membership fee covers all the operations that we do, etc. But we'll talk in a minute about what you get out of that membership fee. And now our job is to grow your chef heart. Listen, you're not actually paying a membership fee. You're investing. How do I know that? Because it goes directly towards the token, which has a value. That token has a value that you can recognize. And you're basically purchasing the value and utility of the Chef Heart Friendship Pod wrapped up in a token. So it's a vehicle that you can trade on the open market. You can utilize in our own ecosystem in a variety of other ways. You hold it in your wallet, your MetaMask wallet. If you don't know what that is, it's just simply a digital storage place for your cryptocurrency. It's a place to hold your value and utility that you have invested in Chef Heart. And it could literally outgrow the investment that you made. In the meantime, it gives us funds by which to provide spices, to provide all these other benefits that you will get from being a member. And ideally, if we do it right, we will increase the efficiency of your life. We will lift you up to a plane that you want to be at because you're willing to grow and able to grow, and we've kind of add to that growth. And then we aim it at something good, and the reciprocity feeds itself. And before you know it, that's the best investment you've ever made. And you literally are putting in less money than you're taking out, and you're reinvesting and reinvesting. You could get yourself to a place that you only dreamed of. We hope. This is the goal. So let's look at a couple of other things. We have a community around Chef Heart that is contributing these ideas. And out of these ideas, we have structured our theme which we put right. Where'd we put it? Somewhere we put it. Where'd I put it? Really? The theme is nowhere on the page? Is that even possible? The theme, I know. Blend. Our tagline is blending passion with spice. You can see it right here in the logo. But once you log in, you're going to see the theme front and center, and it's blending. We are a community that blends passion with spice, because cooking is our art, and that kind of encapsulates everything we're about. Well, how it works is that we created 4 particular categories around which we are offering tools and training and products and really cool ideals that, when you engage them wholly, builds a system for you to eat well, to have access to the food that will feed you right, to give you a mentality on how to go about your day without trying to, structure it overwhelmingly around your diet and everything else, and to take the expertise from all the people in the field that are contributing and meld it into a habit, meld it into a behavior. If this becomes behavior, then the benefits are byproducts. It's the behavior you have to work on. And we try to make that as simple as possible and as engaging as possible so that you can get those benefits and free yourself up to be able to do even more good. So we begin with the spiced heart. And of course, we got to theme everything, make it make sense. But the spiced heart, and who wouldn't want a spicy heart, right? Variety is the spice of life. You want a heart that's full of vigor and excitement and love, and you want to be able to be a value to people. Well, I believe that not only what you put in your ears and your eyes, etc., but what you put in your mouth and into your gastronomical gut system, all works together to that end. So the spiced heart, enjoy our custom spice and rub service with generous replenishment and hassle-free consistency of your favorite rub recipes. Manage it all within your own Spice Drawer web portal. So what we are assembling for the members is we will give you we will allow you to create a consortium of spices, whatever spices you use in your cooking or want to use, or what aligns with our recipes that you're going to use or may use if you want. And we will send you in, for now, 3-ounce packets, our Pepper Fusion approach to these spices. So we buy our spices wholesale. We buy them in whole kernels as well. And we don't grind them until we ship them. We grind them, and we grind them together if it's a blend or a rub, because that fuses the flavors together. If I blend cinnamon with, trying to think of something else I would blend it with, chipotle. If I just blend those two pre-ground spices together, I'm going to get cinnamon and chipotle flavors to come out. But if I put cinnamon stick and chipotle, which are just roasted jalapenos, in the same grinder, and they grind to whatever consistency we dial into, and we got videos, you'll see, into a single unit, guess what? They end up becoming a third entity. Even in the spice, we believe that this idea of community and this idea of 1 + 1 = 3 can be embedded. And now you're ingesting something more. And that something more, I hope we can put a finger on it and long term be able to dial it into this entire digital landscape, so you could search by and say, I want this result, and we say, oh, here's the spice blend you need for that result. And we can already do that medicinally, but I think there's some other psychological, emotional, and sociological benefits that we can get out of these spices and actually create a catalog and an inventory and a means by which to request them. But again, that's down the line. We grind them, we package them, and we send them to you. So you could end up with a spice drawer, and I'll put a picture of that spice drawer here on the website before long, still in the process of building it, that will be canisters so that you can put your spices in those canisters. Now, if you prefer to use jars and you have a system at home, or you just want them in your cupboard, you do whatever you want. I'm going to create a system so that you have a means by which to apply all this, but you can do however you want at home. But you get our spices, and I will send the spices to you, and then each spice jar will have a QR code, and currently you basically have one QR code that takes you to your portal and allows you to reorder those spices when they diminish. Long term, with some investment and proper programming, you'll be able to scan that QR code and confirm and have that specific spice replenished without having to request it. There's some benefit in being able to request it because you may have some changes that you want, the size of the grain or the amount. You may not want 3 ounces at a time. You only want 1 ounce, or you may want it shipped, whatever. Right now we have a great portal. It's going to get better. That's all you need to know. So each of those spice, and you have in your portal, you'll have the ability to, let's just show you. You'll have the ability to manage that spice drawer. So here's my spice drawer. We're now inside the Chef Hart Friendship Pod portal. See that I'm logged in. And what we have in this portal is a bit of redundancy. I'll take care of that. This is a work in progress you're getting to see. I was working on it this morning. I know exactly what I did to create this redundancy, and I did not realize I did that. Nevertheless, we'll fix that. So right now we ship everything in sealed bags, and you'll have to purchase your own bottles, jars, containers, etc., because that would overwhelm us in cost, and you'll also have to pay for shipping. We will ship you the spices, but we will ship you within reason. And again, this is why you vet the community. I don't need somebody coming on here asking me for 400 pounds of cinnamon and then turning around selling it on eBay. That's not the idea. The idea is that we are supporting this. We have a constituency between us that we are going to help you and you are going to help us. And we are all as a community going to explore our Chef Hart. But we will replenish your spices with no transaction fee. The only transaction fee will be shipping, and we're going to do everything we can to figure out how we can ship this across the United States without ever having to even bother you with that. Because if that's the case, you won't have to transact even with your credit card. Now, Web3 means that you can transact with crypto, but a lot of people that we're engaging and looking to bring into this right now, they are not crypto savvy. And I will also say that the entire crypto landscape is not entirely consumer friendly. And so we are going to do what we can to circumvent that. And as we continue to put this together, that will be a high priority for us. But nevertheless, you will be able to replenish those spices. So if you use a lot of cinnamon, because you're always eating cinnamon, I don't know why I chose cinnamon. Could have chose any spice, but that's the one I chose. Then, hey, you know that we're always going to be there to replenish your cinnamon. It's going to be freshly ground, and it's going to be a high quality cinnamon. And by the way, the stuff you buy at the store and the stuff you might get online, there are rumors in the spice industry of all kinds of additives and fillers being put into spices, sawdust even. This mitigates all of that. We're not doing anything but taking a fresh spice that has been, dried, and grinding it. And we have tracking. We have everything necessary to prove our batches and our lots are integral, have high integrity, etc. And so you're getting a high quality product, bar none. And we wouldn't have it any other way. But back to this. So here we are inside the portal, and this is your dashboard. Within your dashboard, you can click on your spice drawer, or you can click from one of the two menus. One of these two menus. There's my spice drawer. And you will come to, really? That link? Not happening? What's going on? Let's use this link. Oh, you really are. There we go. See, that's the kind of stuff I have to fix all day. We'll fix it. Easy day. And as a member of the community, you can always, send us a notice. Hey, check it out. You've got a button that ain't working. It's going to happen. Chill. It's all right. It's going to be good. I got you. All right. From the spice drawer, you can maintain... Oh, look, even cinnamon must have been on my mind for a while. You can maintain your spice drawer. Now, this is just for you. This is just so that you're able to say, I want to maintain this different array of spices in my spice drawer. And maybe somebody mentions to you a spice you've never heard of while you're at a party or something. And you come back here and go, oh, I need to add that spice to my drawer. So you come here and you say, oh, this new spice, it's called cumin. You never heard of it before. That's silly, but some people maybe not. Is this a spice blend or a rub? No, because it's only one spice, right? If it was a blend, you could give it a name. You could call it Rosie Texas. I have no idea where that came from. That's the name of your blend. I guess I should say spice name / blend name. You would say, yes, it's a blend, and then you would tell us what the recipe is. Well, the recipe is cumin, cinnamon, and onion. And we understand you mean, it's a spice, crushed onion. And I don't know what that would taste like, but you created this recipe. You like the idea. And so you give it to us. And you tell us 40% cumin, 40% onion. What does that leave us with? 20% cinnamon. Grind it in a coarse fashion. And what else do we want? Now, those are about all the parameters for a blend. I plan on using this in my everyday cooking and in my breads. Cool. We now know your application, and again, somebody may go, hey, why don't you create little fields that we can fill out so we can kind of give us prompts. That's a great suggestion, and I would probably implement that. And as I'm doing this, I see that as a good idea. But for now, it's just open text. I don't care what you write in there. You can misspell it, etc. Can I create a drop down that has all the possible spices for you to choose from? Yep, and I probably will. Just not yet. And there's reasons for that, and we'll get to that down the line. So you submit it, and now all of a sudden, when you go to your spice drawer, you're able to see your inventory. All right, 40% cumin, onion, cinnamon, grinded in a coarse fashion. This is how he plans on using it. Now, all that did was add it to my inventory so that I'm able to keep track of it, because I may not be asking for this just yet. I may be thinking about it. Again, it's art. And when you do art, you kind of lay down the foundation, and then you start thinking about it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need to make a change. If somebody were to order Rosie, Texas, and then tomorrow order Sunshine, California, and then the next day, and all of a sudden they're ordering stuff left and right, we're probably going to give you a call and say, hey, what's going on? You say, oh, I just had this great idea for a foundational for these spices. I'm going to cook a certain way over Christmas or over a holiday or whatever, and I just wanted to try these blends. Okay, cool. Let's work together to where we get something that's, working for all of us. This is a community. You can't go tasking the production line to keep somebody else from having it simply because you're having these whims that you want to fulfill. Maybe we have a smarter way of getting about it. That's where the power of this friendship pod comes in. But at the same time, you can have your whims and you can send them to us. And, when we get them, we'll start fulfilling them until it becomes obvious we need to have a conversation. This is just simple collaboration. That's all. So anyhow, this is your inventory. And from within there, you can go to that particular spice drawer detail, so the Rosie, Texas, and you can see if you have any blends on order with us. And again, we send them to you for free as part of your membership. You have already provided the investment that we are utilizing to manifest your spices without having to worry about what the price is, etc. In order to request it from us, because all that did was manage it, is you request a blend or a rub, etc., and so you choose it from this list. Now, what makes this list interesting here is, and for now it's just this list, but it will include every spice and every spice and every blend that anybody in the community makes. So if you have never heard of Rosie, Texas, but you see it and you go, what is Rosie, Texas? I would like one of those. Then you can request it from us. And yes, as we build this out, you'll be able to select Rosie, Texas, and it'll show you what's in it. That is not a function just yet, but I understand the need for it, obviously. And so maybe your blend starts to gain some traction within the community. And where does that leave us? It leaves us with competitions between us. That leaves us with profit sharing, potentially, because whoever gets the most, or prizes, it creates opportunity for all kinds of things. But mostly, you get other people eating the love that you're providing. And that's where the synergy really comes from. So you submit that. Now it comes to us. We run a report, and we recognize that you need it, and we produce it, and we send it to you. When we send it to you, like I said, and you view it from here, you'll be able to see that you have, look at that, it's not there. It's not there, right in the middle of all this. It's not there. Seriously? Let me just make sure I did this right. Oh, I bet you I know why it's not there. Let's try some cinnamon. I want some cinnamon. So the idea here is you want 1 3-ounce replenishment. And when I look at my spice drawer, no, I got to fix my programming. But nevertheless, it'll show up quantity 1, the date that you ordered it today, and you'll be able to see when it's fulfilled, that it's fulfilled, and when it was fulfilled, that it shipped, and when it shipped. And so this allows you just to keep track of when your spice replenishment is on its way when I go to fix it. You see all these things that are, I thought this was like ready, good to go for this video. But hey, this is how a friendship pod comes about, and I'm glad you're kind of seeing these aspects of it. All right. Now, we don't sell eggs, but if we did, you could you could take the one off my face for a low price. All right. Recipe search. So we provide recipes, and I can't get it to you there. If you go to the initial page, the landing page, nope. Again, another thing I need to incorporate. I have pages built. I just did not link them up. I have pages built that will show you our recipe books and give you a sense of what those are about. And so I need to create a link. But we have serious recipes. And these recipes will give you so much nourishment. It's built on a system that's designed to make you feel better, lose weight, and grow emotionally and physically, and just clean you up and help you out simply by eating, simply by cooking the recipes. They're lovely recipes, simple to make, taste great. That's all you have to do. Just shift your diet to doing nothing more than cooking these recipes. So we're going to provide them on here. I've only got a few of them loaded right now, but I'll show you how it works. Click on the recipe search, and you could say that you could look in the category of is. So you're saying the category is breakfast. And you click search, and it will show you all the breakfast recipes that are in the database. Right now, just this one, okay? Because as I'm building, I'm not trying to sell you on Chef Art right now. This video is from Marvel Media's perspective to teach you about, so why am I getting into the details? I don't know. But this is to give you an idea of, that's a good point. Anyhow, the good point is, I don't need to be getting into the details of Chef Art. But now that I'm here, I'll show you a few more things. So you'd be able to see this recipe or this the picture of the recipe, and in this recipe, this is from Pepper Fusion. We will and that's why these aren't all up yet. We've got to rebrand them with Chef Art. And you would be able to, and you can increase the size of that just to be able to see it better. And you'd be able to have this on your iPad in your kitchen and make the recipe. What we foresee is, I don't know about you, but when I cook very sporadically. I kind of throughout the day find out where the family. My kids are teenagers. My son is 17, going on 18 in less than 6 months. He's preparing for a Air Force commission. to go to the academy, and my daughter is she's an FBLA in all the clubs, and they are busy people. Wife, she works. We are scoutmasters for the Boy Scouts. I'm a pastor. We're a pastor's family. We have a church. We have so many things that we're doing. So somewhere between noon and 3, I try to find out where everybody's going to be and if I'm going to cook dinner that evening. And so that I can kind of start preparing my ingredients. Fortunately, I walk over to the grocery store. I call it our extended pantry, and IGA is just across the street, and I'm able to pick stuff up real easily. So that works for me. And here you'll be able to click on today or tomorrow or the next 3 days or the next week. And what I'm doing here is I am programming these recipes into a schedule so that you don't have to think about what you're eating. You just simply eat what I tell you. And I don't care if you eat it or not. I'm not trying to force anything down your throat. And a lot of it is just arbitrary. I'm putting the recipes in there, kind of trying to create some sort of logic to what I suggest you eat on a day's basis. But, you know, when you make a recipe, you don't just eat it that one day. You eat it for the next day or 2 or 3. You don't need to necessarily cook 3 meals a day. In fact, we'd be hard-pressed to see anybody that cooks 3 full meals a day. Usually you get up in the morning, you have what you have, somewhere around noon, you know, and then there's intermittent fasting, and that really comes into play with a lot of this. So you really just need to kind of get a sense of what you're going to want to eat over the next few days. But this gives you the ability to see it that way. And then the question is, all right, over across the next month, what are the recommended recipes? And the reason we do this is so that you can view these recipes and get a sense of what you're going to need from the grocery store. Now, you really don't want to shop a whole month in advance. It doesn't hurt to look, but I say if you're shopping, you're really shopping for 3 days, maybe a week. You know, let's call it a week. Well, over the next week, based on this minimal thing, I'm going to need some frozen red berries, banana, coconut milk, and vegan protein powder. Okay, I got a bunch of protein powder. It's not vegan. It's my workout powder. I got a bunch of that. Coconut milk. I've got plenty of coconut milk. I bought 6 cans last time I went. So I'm going to have to get some fresh red berries. Okay, so I add that to my list. And will we make a list that you can update and then print out? Yes, we're going to make interfaces like that. That'll be cool. Okay, I'm really getting into the weeds of Chef Art, and this was not intended. So this just is a description and a demonstration of the tools that we can build in order to help you facilitate the overall theme of Chef Art and the overall theme of the Friendship Pod. Well, whatever Friendship Pod you are looking at will have similar themes. Just real quick to give you an idea, Moments That Matter, the Moments That Matter .club is another Friendship Pod. Moments That Matter. And this Friendship Pod helps you celebrate the moments that matter. And so we help you celebrate the most meaningful moments. You can find resources and services to support those moments, navigate the associated positive and negative emotions, connect with others who can relate to you, and more. So in this particular Friendship Pod, our purpose is to be happy, to not remember the days, but the moments, and to open our eyes and look within. And these are the moments of celebration that this Friendship Pod capitalizes on. Marriage, children, a new home, special milestones such as retirement, anniversaries, graduations, successes, etc., and end of life, because these are all moments that we all experience. And so this is someone who has an amazing Friendship Pod centered around being a celebrant for life. And it follows a very similar footprint. You come in as a member for free, and then you fill out a profile. You are interviewed, you get accepted, you're brought into the community, and now you have a tight network of people that are celebrating these moments with you. Okay. I think this just became a YouTube video. Sorry, TikTok. I'll take snippets and put it on TikTok. But this is approaching an hour. So this is how a Friendship Pod materializes, though. And what I'm doing is I'm creating a blueprint and basic tools in a blueprint that anybody can come in and say, I want to build a friendship pod. We also have a nonprofit called the Jam Room. This nonprofit is a nonprofit recording label. And again, around here, we have amazing artists. We have so much talent for recording and producing and all of that. And then I apply digital marketing, etc. And we bring local artists up through local artists that have talent and that are learning and writing their own songs, etc. We record them and produce them, add instrumentation or whatever's necessary to their music, and then we bring them into studio. Well, that's how we record them. And then we publish them on all the streaming sites, and then we drive traffic utilizing our ad platform, etc. This in itself is also a friendship pod. You come in, you register. In this case, you can become a fan or you can become an artist. And as a fan, you get to follow these artists around and engage with them and get back, behind the scene interviews and ask them questions and really kind of touch base with these particular artists. And if they blow up, guess what? The token that this is wrapped in will increase in value. And if you are a holder of that token, you're going to get to participate in the success of each of these artists. As well, we'll be able to create NFTs around the songs, around the releases, around the artists, the album art, all those other things that allow you to purchase so that you can invest in them. And if that artist blows up, well, now you have a whole profile of things that you could potentially benefit from. Let's see. We've got a few more. Of course, we'll get to that one in a minute. Other friendship pods. Well, I have 40 Story. I have Marble Media. I'm drawing a blank right now. We've got a few more of them in the works. But each one of them basically resides around the same temperament. Now, 40 Story is my four-dimensional storytelling for Web3, right? We have a coin that we have, an ERC20 coin that we have minted that we utilize on all these platforms. So the Jam Room could have its own coin, its own ERC20, and someday it probably will. The Chanel Carlin's Moments That Matter Friendship Pod someday will have its own coin, but right now it utilizes the 40 Story coin. Chef Art will someday have its own coin, but right now utilizes the 40 Story friendship, 40 Story coin. What does that mean, though? Is that a good strategy? That's an amazing strategy. See, 40 Story is kind of vanilla. It works for all of them because they're all potentially going to produce Web3 stories, fictional stories, and have characters, etc., that promote their friendship pods, and it all ties back. But look, now we've got 4 organizations, and not just 4, because there are multiple organizations tied into each one of these friendship pods. We have a kinetic expansion of value and utility driving to one single token. Now that token has the potential of blowing up across a large spectrum of potential, or building up steadily across the same spectrum of potential as those friendship pods and those communities grow, enhance, increase, and do better. Oh my, this is beautiful. There's so much here. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am to know that I'm this close to bringing this to the masses. I'm literally sitting here in my home demonstrating this to you, showing it to you, because my next step is to utilize my own advertising platform to drive traffic to these friendship pods so that I can get free registrations and start vetting people and bringing in people who want to participate in these particular vertical communities that I call friendship pods. And this is my agency, Marble Media. We provide website services. I can build your website. I can build your sales funnel. I can do all the Web 2.0 stuff. But we also build Web3 friendship pods. And you can come here to marblemedia.io. Check out our page on friendship pods. check out our Web3 fictional storytelling platform called 40 Story. You can get a sense of a 40 Story by checking out Nightshades. Its level of production depends on how much time and focus I can put on it, but the infrastructure is there, and if I have a conversation around it, and I'll do some of these Loom videos around that, it will start to help you understand how a 40 Story operates. You can learn a little bit about crypto, and I'll continue to pad and add to this particular page that gives you some insight, etc. You can join the Marble Media Friendship Pod. And the Marble Media Friendship Pod, we're primarily looking for engineers and designers and people that can support the community of Friendship Pod Network. So if you're one of those, let us know who you are, and you'll be able to register for free and fill out a profile and kind of go down the same path that we've just discussed. But if you are also just somebody interested in digital marketing or any aspect of what I'm doing, with all of this, Friendship Pod, 40 Story, Web3, etc., you can register as well. I'm not just looking for vendors. I've got it categorized different ways. And if you're looking to hire us, register, and that'll connect you with us and say, hey, let's have a conversation. And you'll have means by which to make those connections with us. The last thing I'll throw out there is I can put an ad anywhere I want. And because I can put an ad anywhere I want, that means I can tell the story, the 40 Story, anywhere I want. That includes in bus stations, outdoors. I could in New York City, right up on the biggest and the best of all the screens, in gyms and spas and places where there are digital devices playing in hospitals and healthcare centers. So I have the ability to and all of this, it's so much better than social media advertising, so much more dialed in. I can turn it off and on. There are no dollar limits. I can spend $1 or I can spend $1 million. Or you can through us. And so this becomes an integral part of our strategy for promoting, if you decide to build your own Friendship Pod or have us build a Friendship Pod for you, whatever the case may be. This, along with social media advertising, both of them are still in play. But I really love the idea of being able to get on, and we can get on computers, we can get on digital screens, we can get all over the place, and then we can utilize all these different strategies to be able to align your campaign and your Friendship Pod with the people that are most excited about it and that you will attract. How are you, as somebody that's building a Friendship Pod, going to make money? I think you kind of get a sense that there is a membership fee that you're charging people. There are so many things that you can provide them that come out of your own knowledge, your own energy, your own connections. You're just bringing it all into one place and leveraging it and providing it to them cheaper than they could find it themselves. It's a win-win all the way around. And the more it grows, the more efficient it becomes, and basically the more effective it is for them, and the more money you can make as a result. The strategies are endless of how you can monetize without taking advantage of people and without fear mongering and all that other stuff. It really is it's a shift in the paradigm of how we do things, and it will continue to hopefully it'll continue to proliferate. And I would appreciate if you'd share this video and share everything you see from me until we get to a point where we can generate enough revenue to take it to the next level and really integrate some of these Friendship Pods into the blockchain and do some other things that are nifty that will hopefully lay a path for you to find your way forward. If you don't have the resources or the bandwidth by which to develop your own Friendship Pod in Web 2 or Web 3 platforms, then just join one. And we're making a few of them to get started. But we're anxious about what the future holds and the type of vertical communities that will come out of this leitmotif, as I call it in my initial white paper from 20 years ago. Oh, 30 years ago now. Yeah, 30 years ago I wrote that white paper. And but as this all continues to proliferate, I'm hoping that we've built a good enough foundation that others can come build upon it and blow us all out of the water. And I know they will, because I see what's going on in Web3 already. I can't keep up with the tech. There's no way. I don't have the revenue, and I don't have the personal knowledge to do it without needing the revenue and the time and the energy. It's just huge what some of these companies with resources have been able to do. But I'm hoping that the seeds of these ideas will be able to demonstrate to them that we can take a lot of this. With what we just saw with FTX, I'm telling you, that's going to continue to happen until something like this is embraced. And then once this is embraced, we have a whole new approach to how we treat society. And we are very much in a post-secular type of society. We are moving towards a society that is hungering for truth, transparency, and trust, because it's just been eroded from us at every angle, and we can't see through the murkiness anymore. We don't know what to believe and what not to believe, so we just believe nothing. And if I'm telling you, that will stagnate us and really put us in jeopardy, because guess what? Everything around us doesn't stop, and people will take advantage of that. So strengthen yourself, gird yourself up, get ready for the future. Allow us to do what we can to help you. And if you want, sign up for one of these friendship pods and be on the lookout. Maybe you'll see something in your world of surfing the internet and social media and digital displays that will introduce you to a friendship pod that perfectly aligns with who you are. My guess is people are going to ultimately have multiple friendship pods that they engage with. I think between 3 and 6. I mean, right? Our phone numbers are 9 digits, 7 digits, or 6 digits. If you how many digits in a phone number? 10 digits, including the area code. In America, anyhow, and take out the area code, and you have 7 digits. I can do this. I can do my math. My son would be cracking up right now. He's the math expert. But those 7 digits is about all we can really manage. And if you had 7 vertical communities that fulfilled every area of your life, I assure you, you would discover a whole new approach to how you live. Well, guess what? The 7 arenas of human experience, which is the foundation of PersonaWare and my approach to 4D, we've got you covered. It's already established. It's already there. We're just going to have to proliferate it a little bit so people understand how to approach that. But we'll get to that later. All right. It's been great talking to you. I know I can't see you, so when people say, hey, see you in my next episode, they're lying. I will not see you in the next episode, but you will see me, and God help you. But nevertheless, I hope you've enjoyed this tour with me. I know it's been a little kind of off the wall. I did dive too deep into Chef Art. I will do other videos that keep it at a higher level, and we'll see where we can go with it. But until then, you've really gotten to see behind the scenes today, and I hope that you will show me some love with some likes, some follows, and all the social media